All
We're
right,
live.
here we are. All right. Well, welcome to Brazil. Here's our hammock in the background. We're in our condo in João Pessoa. So, welcome.
Yeah. But first of all, can you guys hear us? How is the quality of our audio? Is
Yeah.
that okay? Do you mind saying something on the chat below?
Yeah. If you
So,
can hear us, I don't know why this is wonky.
yeah,
Uh, hopefully,
yes,
hopefully everybody can hear us.
yeah.
Anyways, well, welcome. It's been about 5 months since our last live here. So we just wanted to touch base with everybody,
Yeah.
let you know how the first 5 months of our retirement has been going, see if anybody had any questions,
Mhm.
things like that. So,
Yeah, but we have, hey Dave. Hey Dave, how are you?
hey,
You're from Canada. That's amazing.
oh,
Dominic.
Dominic.
Hello, hello,
I'm
hello.
taking these off. They're ridiculous. I don't know why they're crooked. Dominic, are you done? Are you finished? Let us know. So excited to hear about how everything's going with all of you guys as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
where should we start?
Well, we have a few things that we wanted to cover today,
Yeah.
but in the meantime, just to kind of give you guys an idea, leaving on October the 5th. Oh,
Oh
that's
my
amazing.
gosh.
That is so close.
Congratulations.
Good for you.
And like I told you, or we told you before, we're heading to Southeast Asia next year. That's our plan.
Yeah.
So let's stay in touch and we're going to figure out how we can meet up for sure.
Uh-huh. Hey, Karen, we have to keep paying attention
I
to the
know.
chat. We haven't decided who is going to do
Karen
that
and
or
Cliff.
not.
Hello, guys. Edmonton. Oh, Lee.
Oh,
Retired cop. Nice to see you
yeah,
here.
I
Thanks for
know.
joining us.
I know.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
Alexandria, nice to meet Alexandria. Nice to meet
Yes.
you as well.
So why don't we kind of give, here's what we have planned. We don't, first of all, we don't have like a time crunch. We
No.
are starting at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We can
Yeah.
definitely go for an hour, and definitely 1 hour, an hour and a half, 2 hours. As long as you guys have any questions, we are more than happy to share with you our thoughts.
Yeah.
And we have planned to do a few things, which is kind of give you guys an overview of what happened since we
Last
retired.
chatted.
Yeah, we last chatted. It was just like a retirement party that we had before.
Yeah.
There was actually our first live,
Uh-huh.
and this is the second one,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So we want to talk to you about what have we done, how's the budget going. We can talk about like mindset and what's going on from our videos that we have released before. There are a lot of questions about phones. There is a lot of question about credit cards. We are happy to share with you guys and like things in general. How are we doing? We might have seen our clothes. It's just because we haven't bought anything since we left Canada.
No, with the exception of some socks and underwear,
Yeah,
and that's about it.
But
It's the
clothes
same
wise,
clothes.
shirts wise, it's gonna be the same. So.
Yeah. And we do plan. Quite a few people have been asking about our place here in Brazil. So we are honestly, guys, we're trying to get our act together and get organized. We do plan on doing a video about our condo and how we purchased it and the city we chose and all that kind of stuff. So it is coming.
Yeah. So why don't we do this? Maybe we should start before for those of you who are new. So I have retired early in December 2023. I had and I still have my own business that is still open. And I was actually waiting for Christine until she decided, I mean, she had a date and she had, something planned, but when it was your last day at work?
Yeah, so for me, I retired March 31st for a couple of reasons. One, I told my boss that I would stay until that time. There was some stuff going on at work, and I wanted to make sure I was there to help out with it. And two, I wanted to retire as close to the beginning of the year as possible for tax reasons. Because I was deciding to commute my pension. There was going to be a large chunk of money that was going to be taxed. So we wanted to make sure that I'd had as little actual income in my name as possible, and then retired as soon as possible at the beginning of the year. So the date was the end of March. April 1st was my very first day of retirement.
And maybe Lee has a question related to that.
Did it take a while to take the law enforcement hat off and transition into civilian life? Yeah, and I don't think that I will fully transition. I'm definitely a lot less stressed than I was, for sure. I think you can attest to that. I sleep a lot better. I feel healthier. But I mean, there's certain things about having that previous job that will always stay with you. You're very observant about everything that's happening around you and all of that kind of stuff. And sometimes you feel like you should step into a situation. Maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't. But yeah, I mean, it still fully hasn't transitioned off. I still talk to people back at work and or previous still working and, hear all the gossip and stuff. But slowly, I'm starting to distance myself from that mindset.
Yeah. My case, it was different because I was working remote and I was basically going from one contract to another one. And I already kind of had that flexibility, and I was used to not kind of keep up with the same people that I have worked with, right? So it was a bit easier for me, but no problems at all. But regarding Christine, definitely right. But once you are a police officer, even when you leave, you are still considered one, right? Because you care about, it's not that you don't care about people, but she's still aware of what's going on, and she tries to help for every opportunity that she had, which is great. But more and more, I kind of see her kind of moving away.
I think you just need to, right? You can't be in that mind space when, I don't know, it's just not healthy to live there 24/7. And so it's easier. The further I get away from it, the easier it is, I guess. Dave, you have a question about tax residency. So we'll talk a little bit about that. It's maybe coming up. Well, we can talk about it now. So just to clarify for everybody, yes, we have left Canada, but we are still tax residents of Canada. So we don't plan to be, even here in Brazil, we're here for a few months this year to try and get stuff sorted out here at the condo and spend some time with Jean's mom. But we're not going to be back in Brazil for probably over a year.
No.
About a year, maybe a year. When we come back to Brazil, it won't be till 2026.
No. By the time that we leave Brazil this year, and we are going to talk about our travel plans for the future.
But we're nowhere long enough to be considered a tax resident of that country. So we will all, at this point, our plan is to remain tax residents of Canada because we're moving around too much to become a tax resident or a non-resident of Canada for tax purposes.
And there are a lot of ties that we still have with Canada. My business is still open, right? The bank accounts and everything else, like the residency that we have with our family. So things like this would did I mention bank accounts? I did, right? So all of those things, we are still considered a tax resident of Canada. And we love paying taxes, but we want to pay less taxes now.
We have a pretty good accountant, and he's got a pretty good handle on our situation. And I think that's the biggest key. Like, if you're considering leaving Canada for any length of time, I would think that we would recommend you speaking to an accountant just so you have all of the information available so you can really make the best decision for your situation. W. Lee, I completely understand. Okay, so let's get into, we're going to do because some people are new here, we're going to do a really quick overview of kind of where we've been and a little bit of the cost breakdown of how much it's taken out of our dividends to date. So we started off in April. As many of you know, we spent the first half of April back in Canada, just saying goodbye to family and friends, selling the house, making sure all of our furniture and everything was gone.
Yeah.
And then we took a cruise across the Atlantic to Spain.
Yeah.
And when we landed in Spain,
yeah, we docked in Spain in Barcelona, and we had, I mean, there was actually my dream that Christine, she's so nice, and she decided to go and walk with me. We have decided to walk the Camino de Santiago. If you have not heard about it, is a kind of a pilgrimage that you have along Spain, and there are different routes that you can take. We have decided to take the French Camino, which basically starts in France, and you walk across the Pyrenees, or like north of Spain, until you reach Santiago de Compostela.
Yeah, and after that walk, we were feeling really good. We were in great shape. Then we headed to Portugal for a week and met up with some friends, ate a lot of food, and then headed to Brazil.
Yes, so from Spain, we kind of had what we call a repositioning flight, and we flew from Madrid to Brazil, and that's where we have been ever since.
Since the beginning of August.
Since the beginning of August, right? So that's where we are right now. We are still in Brazil for the month of, the whole month of August. We have been, even though we have this place in Brazil, in João Pessoa, we spent most of the time in another city that is where my family lives. So we spent, some time like in the city, and then we came back and we flew to São Paulo for Christine to visit São Paulo. It was my birthday gift as well. So. And we came back to the condo in September. So that's where we have been since we came back again, right?
Yeah. And I think if you guys have been following along, we try to share our budget with everybody, just so people really kind of understand how realistic this lifestyle might be for them in their situation. And we just kind of did a quick calculation. We're going to do a complete 6-month review of our budget at the end of September. But right now we are averaging around 5,243 Canadian dollars a month,
which is around 3,800 US and 3,500 euro per month, right? We knew that by the time that we started this lifestyle, as we were walking in Spain, we would be spending more money in Spain. First of all, it's in Europe. And we were basically changing locations every single day. So we basically walk 10 to 15 kilometers, 8 or 9 miles or something like that. And you stop on the next location and you keep going every single day. As a result, what happened?
We spent more money.
That
wasn't a shock, I don't think. So we did have a few months where we were over that 5,000 Canadian that we'd set for ourselves as a budget each month. Last month, many of you noticed that we were quite under budget. So it's starting to kind of even out. September might be a bit of a different animal, but we'll see how that one ends. But so far, I think we're happy with the numbers, and I think we're happy with how everything has been going. It's been a busy 5 months for us so far.
Yes. Yeah. I was even talking to Christine a few days ago that 5 months after, that's how we are kind of feeling a little bit more relaxed, in our lifestyle, trying to find a balance of the things that we wanted to do every day. If I can give you guys a tip, is think about that and think about things that you wanted to do once you retire. You have to remember that throughout your life, you basically had at least 40 hours per week, doing kind of work-related things. Now you have, I'm going to use like the day, you had 8 hours per day at least going, to work every day. So now you have 8 hours back from your time. And what you need to do with your time. If you think that you are going to be sitting in a couch as you are now, and watching the news and everything, you're going to be bored.
Yeah, I think the
Pretty
thing
quick,
is you
right?
need to have a structure, and I think that's what we're sort of struggling with right now.
Mhm.
Just trying to create a structure to our day that we can maintain regardless of where we are around the world.
Mhm.
So we're getting there, but I think it's a bit of a process that we're kind of going through too.
Yeah.
So hi, Jen, all the way from Australia. I have no idea what time it would be there.
It'll
But
be morning.
welcome.
Yeah,
Welcome.
Monday morning in Australia.
And you're going to Southeast Asia too, so amazing.
Yeah. Funny enough, we were talking about Australia actually yesterday.
Yes, because there's a possibility. We haven't decided yet what we're going to do, but to get over to that side of the world, we might take another repositioning cruise next year.
Yes. Mhm.
We're torn between a couple of flights or a cruise, but the cruise happens to end up in Sydney. So we're like, oh,
Yeah.
we could stay in Australia for a few weeks.
There we go.
So, yeah. Let's see. Okay, question. Do you pay yourself weekly, bi-weekly, annually? So right now, the goal is to pay ourselves monthly. And the reason for that is the majority of our money is coming out of our brokerage or our margin accounts.
Mhm.
And with Interactive Broker, where the margin account with our dividends is, they give you one free transaction a month,
Yeah.
and then you pay a fee for the other ones. So we plan on withdrawing at the beginning of the month for the previous month's bills.
Yes.
Is
That's
our
right. Mhm.
our plan
But
at the moment.
up to now, we have not even touched any of the dividends,
Mhm.
even though we have been retired since April at 5 months, right?
Yeah.
We haven't done that. Is just because we plan ahead. We had some money saved on our account, which is this money that we actually have been living off.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, but now the money is kind of running out, and this is when we are gonna start to
Now we're gonna have to start withdrawing those dividends.
withdraw those dividends from the account that Christine mentioned.
Yeah. And back to the tax question, as to why we retired when we did and all that kind of stuff, due to the fact that I did receive so many payouts and commuted my pension and everything. We've had to work really hard. So Jean has absolutely no income to show for this year. So we're going to take, we've been living off the cash as much as we could for the payouts, so that Jean cannot withdraw any dividends in his name, so that we can do some income splitting and try and recoup some of that money.
Yes.
Because it was a lot of tax that was paid.
Exactly. But that's why it's so important to speak with somebody who understands this situation, right? So everything, at the end of the day, we do have the final decision, but before taking the steps and running the numbers and everything, we had to consult with them until we realized this is what we need to do. No more income for you. I was basically drawing dividends from my company to pay myself. I don't have a T4, like a regular employment, right? And no income at all. So next year we will start doing that,
try and tax
because it's more advantageous for us to use that, right?
Yeah. So a little bit of history about the money situation there. So moving forward, we're going to start drawing down the dividends, but keep it under 15,000 and you're good. Yeah, I think, I'm not sure what the accountant's plan is, but I think at the end we'll have to talk to him and see, because we might have to take a little bit. So, but yeah, that's crazy. Emmy, hello. What are our favorite activities to do in Brazil? Well, the condo is on a beach, so we love to go for walks on the beach, swim in the ocean. And right now we're spending a lot of time in João Pessoa. So our favorite thing to do is always just discover the city that we're in. And a lot of that tends to revolve around some food, as you guys may have noticed from our eating out budget. We do a lot of eating out. I don't know. It's fun to discover culture through the
Mhm.
food, right? We walk a lot of places, but we also like to really try some of the
Yeah.
local restaurants.
And even getting to know the city, even though
Mhm.
we bought the condo a few years ago, this is actually the first time that we're really spending time in the condo, meaning that we know where we go, when we want to go to the bakery, we know where to go for grocery, and all of those things we did not have a chance to explore in deep as we are doing now.
Yeah.
So we kind of like doing that. But it goes back to walking every
Mhm.
day, because this is also something that we feel it's really important.
Yeah. And that
And
really dropped off after the Camino when we got
Yeah.
back here. We were really busy with Jean's mom, just spending time with her, and
Mhm.
she's not as mobile as we were,
Yeah.
so we became slightly more sedentary after the Camino.
Yes.
So we're really starting to get back into the activities that
Uh-huh.
we enjoy. So
Yeah.
uh,
But even while we are here in João Pessoa, I had a chance to go to São Paulo. Maybe I should add that as well, because I love soccer. And by the way, São Paulo is the best team in the world, if you guys don't know. But just going exploring the city and go,
Yeah.
to different places. We are planning to create another video where it's more like food related, because when we are looking for stuff to where should I do in São Paulo, I only have 3 days or 4 days or 5 days. What should I do? Where should I go? So
Mhm.
things like this that we have the opportunity to do now, we plan to, create some of those videos as well,
Mhm.
because in case you guys want to come and visit Brazil, so you
Yeah.
have some idea of things to do.
Yeah, Sao Paulo was a fun city. I don't know what I was expecting, because everybody said, "Oh, it's just a big city.
Mhm.
It's like any other city that you go to." I don't know whether that's really true. I I really enjoyed our time. We were only there for 4 days, and maybe that would change if we were there longer. But the
Mhm.
4 days that we spent in Sao Paulo were a lot of fun. Like, it was
Yeah.
just, it's a really interesting city. So
Yeah.
we had a good time. Okay, so I'm trying to get all the questions as they come in here. And Jen, if we come to Sydney, let you know. Perfect. Send us an email if you don't mind. Anybody who wants to get in touch with us, just send us an email at
At
fireweekgo@gmail.com, and we'll connect
I
over
should
there.
write it.
Jean will put it in the
Uh-huh.
chat. So send us an email, and we'll definitely, we love getting together. We've already met up with a couple of people.
We were in Spain.
Yeah, when we were in Spain, and we're already hoping to meet up with some people when we're back in Canada. So
Yeah.
let us
There
know
we go.
for sure.
That's the email.
We would love that. Karen, question. Once you fired, were most people happy for you? Did you get any pushback from friends or lose any friends?
Great question, Karen.
I wouldn't say we lost any friends, and I don't think we got pushback from friends. I mean,
No.
there were certain people that were very surprised that we actually quit our jobs and followed through with what we'd been saying for the past 4 years. I think even our family, I think to a certain extent, even though they've been extremely supportive, sometimes I feel like they might think we're a little crazy. But honestly, the most support we've ever had has been from our family, and we're really looking forward to being able to spend time with Jean's mom, but also make it back to Canada to spend time with our family back there as well.
Yeah, I think that one surprise that we saw when we were walking the Camino, we usually go and have like a talk with everybody that passes by you, and they were saying, "What do you guys do?" And we said that we are retired.
Yeah, we get a lot of funny looks
Yeah,
when we
yeah.
say we're retired. You're too young to be retired, is what they say.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that depends on how you view retirement, right? And I think that's the big thing within this community is everybody's sort of changed their idea of what retirement looks like, right?
Yes.
So for all of us, this is sort of our new idea of what retirement is, but for the average person, it seems very odd.
Yeah, and it kind of, we are very grateful because we had this opportunity, and I'm not saying that it's easy. It's not. You have to give something out if you wanted to kind of go and do this, and that's what we did, which is a topic for another video that we'll be discussing, like the reasons behind. But it's always giving back to the community, and that's what we wanted to do for all the places that we go. When we were in São Paulo, when we are here in João Pessoa, when we were like anywhere, we wanted to see what is, who we are talking to. It's kind of talking to people. I'm not saying that we should do this every time, but at least trying to understand a little bit more and support those communities. They're gonna go in a guide instead of using a company. I can use like the free guide, and we are able to, to support that person by giving them money. So things like this, I also think that we are helping them out as well.
Yeah. So I think overall, most people have been supportive of this whole journey. So
yeah.
Carlos Castro, hello. Do you guys consider yourselves lean or fat fire? How much in percentage are you getting your salary from investment only, and how much from other resources such as YouTube, etc.? So we just did a video recently on our streams of income for retirement. And funny enough, I think in that video, year to date for YouTube, how much was it? Like 1,500?
1,800, I guess.
15 or 1,800 we received from YouTube. But the vast majority of our income is from dividends. I would say 95% of the money that we use to live comes from our dividend investments. So would we consider ourselves lean or fat fire? I would just say we are fire. I don't think we live frugally by any, well, I mean, if you guys look at our eating out budget, we don't want for anything in that category. I think we do what we want to do. We certainly don't stay in 5-star hotels, or we don't, pick the most expensive Airbnb or go on all of the excursions that we could possibly go on. We pick and choose what we do so that it can stay moderately within our budget. But I don't feel as though, correct me if you feel differently, I don't feel like we are in any way depriving ourselves. So I wouldn't say that we're extravagant in our spending, but we're definitely not lean fire.
Yes. But at the same time, it goes back to what we do behind. We like to take, for example, business class when we fly, and that's what we did when we flew from Madrid to Brazil to Rio. We flew on business class, but we were not paying. I mean, if you had to pay, it was around 4,000 euro per person. We wouldn't be able to do this. We did it because we had points. We have been accumulating points, and that's what it allows us to kind of go
stay on
those
budget
things once in a while and stay on budget.
But I think it also depends, because if we had not left Canada and stayed in Canada, we would be considering ourselves lean fire. We would have had to leave Toronto regardless and move to a lower cost of living city. And I think in Canada with our budget, it would be more towards the lean fire side of things. But because we've chosen to use geo arbitrage to live around the world, that definitely changes how you view your fire lifestyle.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
So I think 100%. We're just kind of midline fire. We're just normal fire. We're not either side of that.
Yeah, that's true. So anything else before we kind of go to the next topic?
Damien. Sorry, just saw Damien's been with us a long time too. So hi, Damien. Rebecca, hi from Florida. Nice to see you here too. Sorry, I just want to say hi to some people. Taiwan and Hong Kong, yes, they're also on our list for sure. We actually have friends in Hong Kong, so it would be great to be able to get over there and see them.
Leah, if you're listening to us, if you're
Leah, we're coming your way. We're retired from work, not retired. I like that, Dominic. We're retired from work, not retired from life. Yeah, I like that. Jen, if your net worth drops below your retirement point, would you go back to work? At which point? So that's a good question. And I think
I would go. I mean, I have no problems at all. I mean, if
I would not go back to work.
Christine, she can't go back to work.
I could, just not to my old job.
To the old job, but the work that I do, I can still work if I
Yeah.
want to. And by the way, I keep receiving offers to go and work in some projects. I have decided I'm declining all of them. And if it's the case of us going back to work, I mean, I can do. I don't
Mhm.
see any problems at all in doing that. And you gotta to enjoy life. Maybe in a few years, that's what we wanted to do. We are tired of this lifestyle, and we can say, you know what? I don't think that is gonna happen, by the way. But I'm tired, and I need some more, a life that I can use 2 or 3 or maybe half an hour. I wanted to work part-time, so
Yeah.
that's not a problem at all,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And I think that we're a little bit different. It's not so much based on our net worth. I think it would be more directed towards our dividends. So if
Yeah.
the dividends started to get cut for any reason, then we would, then our net worth might have to come down a bit because we'd have to start cashing out some of our other investments in order to maintain what we need to stay, right? As long as our dividends keep where they are and even increasing each year, we should be fine.
I think so.
Touch wood there, but
yeah, we will not be able to go and explore, let's say, Europe or even going back to North America because we know that the cost of living is that it's higher, but we can live in Southeast Asia if that's the case.
Or come back here to Brazil, right? And I think we did a video on that a while ago. I guess our guardrails, is how we termed it, right? Like, what do we have in place to ensure that this plan is going to succeed if the market has another drastic downturn like it did during COVID? If dividends get cut, what are we going to do? How would we pivot and make sure that we're going to be okay? So one of those things is really leveraging geo arbitrage, and we would be back here in a heartbeat, or Southeast Asia, or someplace where our money would go further.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great point.
Are we thinking of buying more rental properties? Oh my God. Every day we walk on the beach here, I'm like, oh, look at that one. I'm pretty sure Jean doesn't want to walk on the beach with me anymore.
I don't think so, but if the right opportunity comes, I don't see it. Why not, right? To give you an idea, the place that we are now, our condo, the price went up. I mean, we were just talking with some real estate people here. What was the increase?
It almost doubled.
It almost doubled
from when we purchased it.
Yeah, in 4 years.
Yeah.
I would not commit this not having, like a source of income, and this is something that we needed to do, but depending on what is the price that we are going to pay. So if it is a good price, I don't see a problem. I would see us working more to get the property done, but it's more Christina because she likes that perspective of rentals and everything.
I do. See, but I love buying properties. I love looking at properties. I like the renovation of properties. But then it comes to the maintaining of the property and the worry about, like, even when we came back here, because you guys know we rent out this unit when we're not here. Yeah. And we put a lot of our, what we would really like in this unit. And when you come in and you see things that haven't kind of been, aren't as taken care of as you would like them to be. I don't know.
But it's because we don't live here, so that's the thing. I want to do things on my way, on the way that I want. It's not everybody is the same. It's just part of what we do. It's just part of the rental. Yeah.
I don't know whether I would want any more rental properties.
Good question. It's very...
It serves a purpose here in Brazil for us. It provides income when we're here, like provides us money that we don't necessarily need to be drawing out as many dividends when we're here, because the condo does generate income for us. It carries itself, and then there's money left over at the end of the year. So we can use that money when we're here to live on, right? Yeah. So, but I don't know. I don't know if we'll buy more rental properties. We'll have to see it. It depends.
It's a good question. Now she has something on the back of her mind.
We'll keep you guys posted. Maybe we'll send you some for sale signs and see what you think, if we should get one or not.
Yeah. which is a topic for another video, by the way, that we are in the works, which is the cost of living. We have, since we have this property here, we have received quite a few comments and emails from people interested in actually in investing in Brazil. So that's what we are planning to working on a video now that within the next maybe a month or so, we will be able to share more details about it.
Yeah. All right, Carlos. So you're saying your biggest problem is that your wife wants a fat fire. Do you have any advice for her that is watching right now? I guess it would depend. I mean, fat fire, like Jen says, fat fire is very possible in multiple places in the world. Like, I don't know, we might even consider it living fat fire here. The other day we bought five massages, and this is definitely nowhere near Southeast Asia pricing, but compared to North America, we bought 5 massages for 560 reais. Something like that.
I'm gonna check the
which
price.
Works out to just over right around $100 US for 5 1-hour massages, and about $130 Canadian. No, $160 Canadian.
I'm looking at the prices now.
I'm so bad with this conversion thing. Either way, back home when we got a massage, it was
130. Oops.
100. Yeah, when I got a massage back home, it was 120 Canadian dollars for 1 hour. So you can definitely, like, if you have saved some money, plus you're going to get your Social Security or your government pensions. If you have a work pension, if you saved money and invested it along the way, and you're going to have the income, I think you can achieve fat fire in so many places around the world. We're used to Canada, we're used to the US, we're used to Australia, we're used to like Europe where prices are really expensive, but that's not the case in so many places.
And it also depends on what we wanted to do. It can be fat fire, and I mean, still have somebody kind of taking care of things for you. And I guess at the end of the day is more what is important for you guys and what you want to see yourselves enjoying it, right? Which is sometimes it's difficult. I do remember a few times with we've had cases of emails that we received with something in a similar situation. It's just more a conversation of what you as a couple wanted to do.
Compromising, right?
Yes. And going back to us, 2019, we had some consumer debt, and we have discussed what is important for you, what is important for me. So we made the commitment in kind of getting things organized, and we worked hard to do and to be in the position that we are in now, right?
Yeah. And I guess the big thing is, what do you guys want for your future? Like, what brings you joy? What would make you happy? When you retire, like what are the things that you really want to do and have in your life? How much do they cost? And then budget that in, right? And then look around the world, because geo arbitrage, I mean, many people here in this chat can tell you, and I think Jen is giving you lots of good tips there on places that you can have a really great life for a much lower cost of living than you would have in Canada, the US, Australia, some of these countries, right? So I think it's just sitting down, planning out your future, what you guys see yourselves doing, with your must-haves, your wants, and your absolute no's, because each one of you is going to have like, I'm sorry, I don't want to do that.
Which is okay as well,
fine, right? Or I don't want to go there, or
at the end of the day is having a good conversation and listening, and practicing the listening skills and putting things out there and see like the pros and cons of everything, right? Like Christine, I had to tell her that São Paulo was the best team in the world, and I can see that Carlos did say the same thing a few minutes ago. She wouldn't believe me, right? So when I talk about the Leafs, like we love hockey in Canada, and then we keep saying, oh, the Leafs are gonna go to the playoffs, and I said, forget about it. Anyway, let's go back to the question.
I think there might be some argument about the best football team, but let's just see. Okay. Okay, so credit cards. This
Oh,
is
that's
a
a good
massive
question.
topic. So
Mhm.
just before we get to the credit card topic, Jen, you're saying you're thinking of buying a vacation property. Pros and cons. Pros and cons are the same as, I would say, owning your own house, right? Like
Mhm.
pros, it's an investment. It brings in income. If it's in a good location, right, it's going to generate consistent income. So
Yeah.
it's a great income source, right? And it's going to keep appreciating,
Yeah.
hopefully, in
Uh-huh.
value. Cons, you might have bad tenants. They may not pay. They might break things.
Mhm.
And it's just a bit of a stress on your mind. But there's good and bad
Mhm.
to the rental property. We're glad we have this.
Mhm.
I just don't know whether we'll
Yeah.
add to it.
Never know. Yes. So let's talk about
Santos.
Santos. It's a good team too. Yeah. There we go. Let's talk about credit cards. So the first thing is, when we decided to live the lifestyle that we have now, we
Yeah.
always wanted to travel. So if we wanted to travel, say where can we go? It's
Mhm.
basically anywhere in the world. And which way and what are the ways that we can basically offset the cost of traveling? As you guys know, accommodation and transportation is also another higher item in any budget that we have. As a result, what we have decided to do is, it was difficult to convince Christine initially because she was not the user to pay with credit cards.
Well, it's
She
because
was-
of that consumer debt,
Mhm.
right? I got myself into a bit of a hole
Uh-huh.
with credit card debt.
Yeah.
And so when Jean's like, nope, you got to put everything on the credit card, I'm like, do you not remember the debt? So it was a bit of a mind shift for
Yes.
me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But nowadays, every single dollar that we spend, we gotta have a point attached to it. So if
Yeah.
I'm buying $1 like a Teams when we were like in Canada, the Teams is like $3. That's okay. It's 3 points that we get. So we end up creating the habit of always buying with points.
With credit card.
Or with credit card,
Yeah.
sorry. And depending on where we are in the world, you might have options or not. In Canada, when we started, and this is, by the way, something that you have to start before you retire, before you stop working, because the years that you are working, that's usually when we end up having more money and more expenses in your country or in your city, right?
Yeah, so let's break it down a little bit because this is a massive topic.
I love it. I can talk for 2
know,
hours or 3 hours.
You've opened a can of worms here.
Yeah.
We're going to keep it super simple.
Okay.
Right now.
Uh-huh.
And then if it's interesting as it relates to retirement and travel and how you can utilize those points, let us know, because we can definitely do some videos and even send us an email, ask us questions, no problem.
Yeah.
So let's break it down. Let's start with Canada.
The best credit card in Canada is, in our point of view, is American Express. There's an American Express Cobalt card.
Yeah.
And
it is the best card.
It is the best card because you use for groceries, right? So when you are in a grocery, for every dollar that you spend in a grocery, you get back 5 points.
You get 5 American Express reward points. Membership reward points.
Membership rewards points. So we are going to the grocery. There are a few stores that you can use, like in Ontario, we had an option to go to Metro.
Yeah, there's a list of stores you can use it at, right? But the key is to utilize it in your categories of spend where you get multipliers.
Yeah.
So for the Amex card, the one that we're talking about, this is the Canadian card, you get 5 times the points at grocery stores. Anything you buy at a grocery store earns you 5 times the points. So we utilized it to its extent, and each one of us had this card because there was a pretty good sign-up bonus when we got the cards. So we were accumulating a lot of American Express membership rewards points. The key to these points is that they directly transfer to a number of airline partners 1-to-1. So for example, one membership rewards point transfers directly to Air Canada Aeroplan at 1 point. So 1 point gets you 1 point, right? And if you look at these airlines redemption charts, you can go a long way on a very low number of points. So for Canada, in order to earn points, this is probably one of your stronger cards, is the American Express Cobalt card, and it's not super expensive. I think it's got a $12.99 a month annual fee, which works out to about 160 Canadian dollars for the year. With American Express, you also get offers throughout the month within their app. I don't know. You use it at Dollarama for $30, you get $5 back. Things like that. So at the end of the month, you're actually not really paying for the annual fee anyways, because you tend to make that back. The thing to remember with Canadian credit cards, the vast majority of them all have foreign transaction fees. So when you travel, try not to use these cards outside of Canada because you're going to get dinged with foreign transaction fees. There are a few. I think there's a Scotiabank card that has 0 transaction fees, or just simply use your Wise card, which is another internet bank kind of thing, but use it. It's kind of acts like a debit card or a credit card, and it minimizes your fees.
So that's the credit card that we use. Have some water while I talk. That we use to collect a lot of points. It's the American Express Cobalt card, right? So when you have a chance, I just put the link out there on your screen. So if you are in Canada, if you are considering, so you can also do that as well. On the other hand, when we were discussing a few months ago on our budget, one of the categories that we have is for fees. And we have also American credit cards on our portfolio. The reason for that, it's again because of my business. That's the luxury of us having a corporation, which allows us to have business in the United States and also in Europe. And as a result, we would be able to apply for credit cards, have bank accounts, and all of that stuff. And we were able to get credit cards in America. There are a few requirements, and it does depend on the bank that you wanted to open your account with. But at the end of the day, we were able to have those credit cards, and we have 2 that we use the most. The first one is the Chase Sapphire Reserve card, and which basically it does pay 3 points per dollar spent on travel. We are traveling now. I was looking, okay, what is the credit card that is going to give us options to, as we are traveling overseas, we will be able to do that. So the Chase was the first credit card.
So it's 3x on travel. It's 3x on dining. Food budget again, guys. Dining out, earning points. And there was another 3x category in there, but it's a good one.
A bunch of them. And the other one that we also have a credit card is the Capital One Venture X credit card. And this credit card is basically 2 times on everything else. So when you're traveling, like going to an example here, if I'm buying a ticket to travel, even by bus or even on my Uber, Lyft, or whatever, I have my Chase credit card attached to my account. Once I use the card, we get 3 times the points. We are going to do grocery here in João Pessoa. I don't use the Chase credit card because it's not going to pay me the 3 times the points.
It doesn't code.
It doesn't code as grocery. We'll then use the other credit card, which is the Capital One Venture X. Why? Because it's 2 points on everything. If you don't know where to use, which card to use, we always end up using the Capital One because of the 2 times the points that we end up getting.
I think the really important thing to realize, and I think that some people are afraid of credit cards, but it's a good thing to start thinking about making sure that every dollar that you spend in your daily life is actually earning you more than whatever it is that you're buying. So if Jean went to buy this water bottle, right? Maybe it cost him $5, right? So rather than just hand over $5 for the water bottle, He's going to hand over the $5 for the water bottle, but he's going to ensure that that $5 is earning him, in addition to buying this water bottle, 10 points towards future travel down the road, right?
Yeah.
You're going to buy the water bottle regardless. It's just making sure that the dollar that leaves your bank account is actually earning you more back than what it is you're purchasing.
And the main message at the end of the day is, for every single statement that we get, we pay in full. We are not we don't want to put ourselves in a situation that we end up having credit card debt. As long as we have the statement, we pay in full. As we are traveling now, we might be traveling one day or whatever the case is, we always have the pre-authorized payment. Every day that the statement closes, we have to pay. The money is taken away from the bank and we are not going to have any problems. So that's just peace of mind.
Yeah. So those are the two we use. Maybe the Amex Blue Business, because that earns 2 times the points as well.
But it's a lot. We are gonna
there's a lot.
End up spending the whole day talking about
you guys
credit cards.
Points.
But if you are starting in Canada, you might consider the American Express Cobalt card, because it's 5 times the points in grocery.
Honestly, it's probably a better. Well, it's better than some of the US cards in earning for food and drink. It also earns you, I think, 3 times on subscriptions. So like YouTube or or Netflix, things like that. So if you have a lot of subscriptions in Canada, that's a good one too. But even US credit cards do not give you 5 times the points on dining out and groceries. The best you'll get in the US is 4 times the points. So
let me see, Erica. It's a consulting company that I have, consulting business that I have, and yes, we do have different entities in Canada and in the United States. We don't have anything in Europe, right? So if a company wants to hire me in Europe, so we have to negotiate that, which I leave to my lawyers and my accountant. All that I do is work and get paid. So
Fire with Dr. Ninja Turtle. Hello. It's so nice to see you here. And we hope you're enjoying your retirement as much as we are.
So that's credit card. And by the way, for all the stuff kind of more travel related, we have a gear website with everything else, but we can talk that in a little second. So let's go back to Karen's question.
Oh, Karen's question. No, first Jen. So these two are sort of, I would say these two are related. So Jen, you're asking if we plan to spend 100% of our passive income, or do we plan to reinvest any surplus as the years go by? And then Karen, you're asking, do you find it difficult to change from a saving mindset to living off your dividends and savings? So I would say, to Karen's question, we're having problems switching from a saving mentality to a spending mentality. And so any dividends that we do not spend will be reinvested. And I think that we're going to try and make sure we max out our TFSAs and stuff this year regardless. And hopefully moving forward, we still are going to be saving as much as we can. We don't want to be mindlessly spending. If we don't need the money, we're going to reinvest the money. And see how the first few years
go. It kind of goes back to the guardrails that we have in place with our retirement plan, right? So that's how we wanted to do. But sooner or later, the money that we have, and it's when we say that it's really important to talk with a financial planner or financial advisor, is because of things like this, right? At the end of the day, sooner or later, at least in Canada, you have to start when you reach 55 or 60, I can't remember now, the RSP.
Oh, 72.
72.
You have to start drawing.
So later in life, you have to start drawing the money from your accounts, because if you don't draw, well, the government's going to do for you. So
they just tax you. They make you take it regardless, and then you just get taxed.
So you need to be smart even when you are not taking dividends and you are taking money or drawing money from the other account, because of those tax implications. If you want to take from the dividends and let's say the RSP at the same time, you might end up paying more taxes. On our case, we want to take the right approach, which is receiving the money that we are entitled to and paying less taxes. We know that we are always going to pay taxes, but we can try and reduce that amount.
I think at this point, we really don't want to spend 100% of, if we can avoid it, we don't want to spend 100% of our passive or our income that we're generating. Because, I mean, I'm 45, Jean's 52, so we still have quite the time horizon ahead of us. And we want to make sure that we're setting ourselves up for success. So right now we're living a great life on the amount of money that we are currently bringing in, with a little bit left over to be able to pay our taxes at the end of the year and potentially reinvest or put into our TFSAs in the new year. I think that's what we're going to maintain moving forward. I don't think we're going to be increasing our expenditure or our budget for the first few years. I think we want to really try and stay on budget because we don't know what the future holds. So we don't want to be, for lack of a better term, blowing the money recklessly now, but we don't not want to do what we want to do either, right? But both of us, and this is where the conversation comes back into this, is that we both read a book called Die with Zero. And I think that we both talked to each other about this particular book. I'm not sure if any of you have read the book either. And we've decided that this is more the approach that we're going to take towards our financial future. So at some point, we are going to have to start cashing out all of these investments. And it's a tricky balance to kind of decide when that point is. Because we're quite young in the grand scheme of things right now. We don't want to start cashing them out yet, but at some point we have to.
We'll have to.
We don't have to, but the money is going to get taxed ridiculously, and it's going to go to. We don't have kids. We have some nieces and nephews that can go to, but they're well looked after too. So, I don't know. Big questions. So it's a little tricky shifting mindsets. And I think it's going to take another little bit of time to kind of switch from the saver to the spender. Jen, 4th year of retirement, my experience is reinvest 30% back. Okay. Oh, that's amazing. You writing. Yeah, that's good. We hear that a lot from people, that they're surprised that their net worth continues to grow, even though they're spending in retirement, which is, I mean, it's makes us happy. We're not going to run out of money anytime soon. All right. So Fire with Dr. Ninja Turtle saying that he's moving his money to the Roth so that he doesn't. He's not required to take the minimum. So you guys are very similar in the U.S. to Canada. So I think we're slowly going to start doing that too. Again, this is all done with our accountant as well as with the fee-only service that we use to do our drawdown strategy. We put all of that stuff into the machine and it works out the numbers for us. We're going to have to watch your video on Die with Zero. Fire with Dr. Ninja Turtle, can you put your channel name in the chat, please? Because I keep trying to find it and I can't for some reason. Hog Roamer, by not maxing out your budget, you are buying financial security. Yeah, that's a really good way of looking at it. I like that. Let's see.
It's almost 1 hour. Oh my goodness, they're so happy. So hi again, guys. I'm looking at the counting of how many people we have on the live stream, around 50. So that's very nice. We hope that so far we have been answering your questions. There's a lot more that we can talk and we will definitely talk about. But just going back to numbers and money and everything else, right? So even though our budget is $5,000 Canadian dollars per month, what happens is the dividends, the same way there are dividends companies that end up cutting their dividends, but we also have companies who increase their dividends, right? On the video that we created a few weeks ago, which is our sources of income, you might have seen that we even share the amount of money that we have received with the dividend so far. I can give you right here, but if you can go and look at the video, there will also be good. But we are around 5,800 per month. So our budget 5,000, we are receiving on average 5,800 per month. So we kind of we can play around with this money kind of once in a while. And if you wanted to join our community, so you're more than welcome to come and join us. We do share those numbers, the dividends number and anything, a lot of stuff like the net worth and things like this within our community, right? Yeah. Okay. What else? Are we good with...
Oh, Jen here. Yeah. Do you have a tribe in real life to meet up and discuss fire? I find that really difficult among my friends. It's true. I shouldn't say none of our friends, but there's very few of our friends that are in the same mindset as us. So Jean has a group of friends that he talks about investing with, and there's a few of them that are on track for fire as well. Yeah. But I mean, this was one of the massive reasons that we wanted to start this channel in the first place, is because we were really having difficulty finding like-minded people in our social circle, right? Our social group. And so we're like, well, we'll create our social circle. And so hopefully that's what this has all become for all of you, as well as a place where we can kind of come, ask questions, chat about things, and we're always available if people want to chat. So just drop us an email and let us know, and we're more than happy to have a glass of wine and a little chit chat. So, but yeah, it's hard to find like-minded people sometimes. Yeah. Dominic, do you have a set amount of time you'll be spending in future destinations?
Yeah.
What's your ideal time limit or time frame?
On each destination, I'm gonna say at least a month and a half or 2 months.
Yeah, per city, right?
Per city, yeah.
Even if we're in a country, we want to spend, I would say, 2 to 3 months per country, and then we'll move. And that's kind of for tax reasons too. We don't want to be sitting in one country long enough to be considered a tax resident there. And so, and a lot of visa requirements too, right? We're very fortunate with Canadian, US, Australian. A lot of these passports allow us entry into countries visa free for a certain period of time, right?
Yeah. A good example was when we were in the Camino. So we knew that because of the Schengen zone, we were allowed 90 days. We left the Euro, we left Spain with 86 or 87 days.
We stayed right till the bitter end.
We stayed up until the end. The same in Brazil. It's two things, right? One is the amount of time that you have available and how many days you can stay on that country and you are still considered a non-resident, right? So those are the things that you always have to keep in mind. But to stay in places, I would say, 2 months, 2 to 3 months.
2 to 3 months. I think with that time frame, you really kind of get a feel for a country or a city or an area, right? And whether it's someplace, and I feel like we already know we're going to be going back to places multiple times. So we want to stay in one spot long enough to really understand a city, kind of find all those little hidden gems that are out there, and just get a feel for the place. And we're going to go back. Like, we're not planning on never revisiting countries. We're definitely going to be doing multiple visits to countries over the upcoming decades.
That's true.
Yeah.
So why don't we go and we talk about what else? Are there any questions pending or not?
Travel fatigue is a real thing. Yes, there is a question. Javier, what ETFs and stocks do you guys invest in? So we do have a playlist that goes over a lot of our dividend investments. We don't really do that. As of January of this past year, we started to do our investments and our investment income breakdowns and stuff like that over on the membership channel. So over there is where you get all the detailed information. But in general terms, we have a lot of Canadian dividend paying stocks. So banks, telecoms, utilities. What we really looked at when we started looking at our stocks was there was a pandemic when we started investing. What was everybody using? So if things got rough in the world, if things took another turn, what were the companies, what were the industries and sectors that you need on an everyday basis to go through life? And those are the ones we felt good in investing in. So that's kind of the basis of our portfolio. And then for
ETFs is basically growth ETFs that we have in our registered accounts, because we are not, we can withdraw if we want, but we don't want to withdraw.
They're there to grow
until it's time. They are there to grow. It's like the total market.
We have
XAW is an example that we have, and another one is the ITOT, which is the S&P, the total US market as well.
And QQQ.
If you do go through this playlist and you watch a few of those videos, at least for 1 year, you are going to see the ones that we have. And I would say the majority of them remain the same. We included a new ones, but it's on the membership channel.
So take a
All
look
right.
over
So why don't we talk about, that's another question from Dominic. No? Okay.
Just about travel fatigue. Is it? And hey, Leslie, how are you?
Should we talk about future plans? Or should we talk
do you guys want to hear
phone
about
bills?
Which one do you want to hear about? Future plans or phone bills?
No,
We're
phone plans, sorry, not
plans.
phone bills.
We're going to do a video on our
Yes.
phone. A lot of people had questions about how do you use your phone abroad to get two-factor authentications and all this kind of stuff. So there will be a video about that. So maybe we'll go over future plans.
Okay,
we got some
let's
future
go.
plans, so we'll do future
Let's
plans.
go future plans. Until the end of this year, we are not gonna talk about places in general, like where we are staying, maybe the continent. So let's do this. And by the way, before we even start discussing that, it's quite, at least for us, maybe more me, I am a planner. The business that I work with is more like a project management role, and I wanted to be in control. I wanted to have things in places, the start date, the end date, and all of that stuff. Nowadays, it's different because we can basically go anywhere in the world. We have to consider the budget, which we have to, there is always in our minds, but the world is open. The world is open to wherever we wanted to go. But we have plans for next year.
Well, we have plans for this year.
For this year. Okay, go and start with this year.
All right. So we're here in João Pessoa until the end of October. And then we move on. So we are actually going to be visiting family in Florida. So we're going to be heading to Florida for a month. And I'm so excited because we're going to get to see my dad and his partner, Anna, and my lovely sister-in-law, Leanne, and my brother, Kale, and my nieces and our nieces. I forgot Leanne on another video, and so I felt horrible. I love Leanne. She's my favorite. So we're going to be in the U.S. for a month, which is great. Emmanuel, Tobias, also living in João Pessoa. Oh my gosh, send us an email. Maybe we'll meet up for coffee or a drink. So after we leave Florida, we are coming back to
Brazil. We are basically spending Christmas and New Year's with mom. You guys can see that we talk about a lot about mom. It's just because we wanted to spend more time with her now. I have been away for more than 20 years in Brazil. So I decided when we decided to come back, the goal was actually to spend more time with family and friends. And when I say mom, is not only my mother, is also my brothers. But my mom is a mom, she's not
so
watching. But so we are spending a lot of time with her this year because next year, talking about plans, we won't be here.
Yeah, we won't be in Brazil.
The plan is not to be here in South America, like in Brazil. Oh, sorry, in Brazil.
Yeah.
So that's why we wanted to go and spend time with our family in Florida. We would come back, go and Christmas, New Year's in Fortaleza, and then once it comes in January, we already booked a place to stay for 1 month. Our first month of
Airbnb
is actually planned. We are planning to stay at least the first 3 months outside of Brazil. It's going to be in South America, right?
Oh, you don't want to tell them where it is?
No. Or should we?
I'm
Should
going
we
to tell you where it is. We're going to Argentina.
There we go.
But shh, keep it a secret.
Yes. So we're going to go to Argentina and spend some time in Argentina. The first month is booked already. So we are still deciding or where we wanted to go after the first month.
Yeah.
It might be in Argentina, going to, other than Buenos Aires, going to Mendoza, Ushuaia. There's a lot of places in Argentina.
Yeah.
And we know that, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, if anybody has any suggestions of really interesting off the beaten path or places that we really should look for or visit, send us an email because we are always up for new places.
Yeah, and we know that Uruguay is on the border with Argentina, so we might go and spend some time in Montevideo, in Uruguay, Puente del Este. So there are so many places to go, but that's the plan.
Yeah. Briefly back in Brazil. Because Jean's mom is turning 75. So we really... we want to be here for that milestone. So we're going to be here for a short period of time for your mom's birthday. And then we are moving north. And we're torn right now between 2 different countries.
Yes.
Well, maybe 3. Colombia, Panama, and Mexico. But we're going to be spending 2 to 2.5 months in one of those countries. We still haven't completely decided where exactly yet. I love Mexico. I almost feel like I'm Mexican.
More than Brazilian, by the way.
Or Canadian. I love Mexico. But we'll see. We don't know. And then the plan is to be back in Canada for the summer.
Yeah, we are going to be in Canada for Canada Day. So in July, we will be in Canada for sure.
Yeah.
So if you guys are in Canada, so let's, send us an email. Let's meet up, and we can. We're definitely gonna go and see Verna. So that's one that we already know.
Yes.
Verna, if you are watching now or later,
gonna get
we
together
wanted
for
to
sure.
to meet our review. So we're gonna stay in Canada for a few months, and we keep going up southeast.
Southeast. So then the plan is after the summer to head over to Southeast Asia. How we get to Southeast Asia is still up in the air. And that's where we were talking at the beginning of the live, where we might take a repositioning cruise from the west coast of the US to Australia. And then from Australia, make our way to Thailand or Vietnam. We're still not quite sure. Or we fly and we go through Europe or Turkey and we spend a month or so in September there and then make our way to Southeast Asia sort of after rainy season.
Like October. And it's, by the way, it's really sad. I was actually reading a few articles about like the typhoon that happened in Vietnam. So it's quite sad, and like some of the destruction that happened up there. So, but this is something that as we travel, we always need to keep that in mind as well, right? So that's why we try to avoid as much as possible. First of all, because we don't want it to be another burden for them. So they already have a lot of stuff to consider as well. So us, being foreigners, being there and not speaking the language is just another burden that we can remove ourselves from. But it's to stay in Southeast Asia. We definitely are going to spend Christmas, December between 2025 and 2026 in Southeast Asia. That's the plan.
I think we'll probably try to spend 6 months over there.
Yeah.
And then after that, we haven't even decided. So that brings
Yeah.
us into 2026, probably
Yeah.
March, April-ish of
Yeah.
2026.
Yeah, Max, you are in Thailand. If
Yeah.
you're listening to us, we're gonna meet
come.
you as well. So
And Dominic, make sure you stay in touch.
yes,
But that's our plan. I mean,
Mhm.
it's still pretty loose, and the planner here, it drives him insane if he doesn't know exactly where we're going, and
Yeah.
we don't have everything planned. But I think I actually enjoy not knowing, and maybe that's just my history. I like not knowing what's coming at me and kind of figuring things out on the fly. So that's some of my old job coming back at me. But yeah, between the two of us, we're going to make it work out.
Mhm.
Rebecca, yes,
Look at
consider
Cindy.
visiting our retirement communities, the villages. Oh, I'm going to write it down. Send us an email, guys, because we're over there and maybe we can try and connect and meet up for, let's go for lunch or dinner or something. So let's do that.
Yeah.
Where are you going to be in March? We should be in South America. Is there any chance you're doing Machu Picchu? I don't know whether I don't know. I don't know where we're going to be in March. Maybe we will be in Peru. That's possible. I actually did Machu Picchu. We did for my 40th, before I met Jayon, my best friend and I hiked the 4-day Machu Picchu trail. Phenomenal. I would do it again in a heartbeat. Hardest hike I've ever done it in my life, hands down, even more so than the Camino, but stunning. I would go back to Machu Picchu in a heartbeat. So maybe stay in touch. Let us know, and you never know. We might show up in Cusco.
Yeah, and it's funny because there's another great travel channel, Nicole and Miko. They are Canadians, and they are actually now in Guatemala. We did watch. I mean, we didn't even left a comment or not, but I'm gonna message them on WhatsApp. They had a really good video talking about they were like in a hiking in one of the volcanoes that they have up there. Amazing. I never thought about Guatemala. Maybe why not?
Yeah.
So it's really nice.
And I think this is such an exciting lifestyle, and you have endless opportunities and so many options available. I think that we are actually at the moment suffering from
analysis
paralysis. We can't make a decision. Like it literally killed us to make a decision about Argentina. So we feel better now that we had that nailed down. So we need to start nailing down a few more decisions here, I think.
But what I think it's important, at least for me, is having some places already set. We already know that we will be in Canada for July. So if that's the case, well, we are gonna leave maybe the last week of June or not, and that's what I'm trying to convince Christine now is where to go.
Oh my gosh!
Because I want to buy the flights with points and take advantage of that, which reduces our budget as well, right?
Yeah. So those are our plans, and we can't wait to kind of share it all with you guys, let you know how much it's all costing us. And we're hopefully going to start bringing you guys more travel-related content. We don't know, and so maybe we'll quickly talk about this here as well and kind of get some of your feedback as well. So we started bringing you guys some of the Camino content. YouTube didn't like it. They really didn't like us mixing up our content between like the financial in our minds it all relates, but YouTube did not see the relation. So we're kind of toying with the idea of starting a second channel as it relates to travel content. We might give it another go and put travel content back on the channel and see how it does, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Second channel about travel related stuff, or keep it all on one channel and hope that YouTube figures it out?
I don't think that their YouTube is listening to us and they say, you guys are crazy. You don't know what you want.
Yeah. So we'll see. But we're hopefully bringing you guys some more travel content, showing you where we're going, what we're up to while we're in these locations, because I think that's important too.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's when we decided to, I was just thinking about that. when we
Yeah.
created our channel back in 2020,
Mhm.
yeah, we created the channel back in 2020 because we wanted to be, I mean, to share our journey to financial independence. But most of the channels that we knew at that time, it was actually from people who already retired. They were not in the process of retirement.
Mhm.
As far as I know, at least in Canada, I'm not sure if in the US if it's the case. Maybe with Dr. Ninja is what he's doing now, but we decided to create the channel initially to show that it's actually possible. Uh, in Joe and be in the position that we are in now. Remember, in 2019, we had $60,000 in consumer debt. So that was the
Yeah.
reality that we faced at that time. And we know how difficult it is. But if you change your mindset, if you change your approach to financial independence, and like in also spending less than you make, I always
Yeah.
confuse that, and spending less than you make, you can change that. I'm not saying that it's not gonna happen overnight. For us, it took us 4 years and a half, 5 years. Our situation is also different because we don't have kids. Christina already had a house at that time. I already had my business established. So there were a lot of factors that helped us. But you can see from the history of our channel how transparent we are with our financial situation. You can see the moments of joy that we had, but always the ups and downs when we lost a lot of money in the market. So everything you have seen in our channel to be in the position that we are in now, right?
Mhm.
So when we share that, is not because we want to show up
Yeah.
or anything. It's not the case at all. I mean, we are retired. We didn't have any uh, reason to basically keep up with the channel as we are creating the content every month. But this is our love, and that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to see and show you guys that it's possible.
Yeah.
Right?
So now it's just determining like which content.
Yeah.
Like obviously we're keeping this channel because we
Mhm.
love this channel. It's
Mhm.
just whether we start a second channel on the
Mhm.
travel. So I think in our minds it all relates. So we don't understand why it doesn't work for YouTube. But we'll let you know if there's
Yeah.
a second channel, and we hope you guys all kind of follow that one as well. But
Mhm.
this one isn't changing.
No, this one is not changing at all.
Thanks, Alexandria. It's nice to
Yeah,
we
yeah.
love knowing, like, we see so many names on here and we know you guys. Well, we feel we know you guys through all of your comments. We love reading them every week. We really
Yeah.
do try to respond to each one.
Mhm.
Because this is, like we talked about earlier, this is our community, and we
Yeah.
really feel like every comment deserves our attention.
Yeah.
So we
And
really
this is not
appreciate it.
AI. Actually, Christine is the one who answered all the comments,
That's
right?
why there's so
So,
many
yeah.
smiley faces, guys. I love the smiley emojis. We know you have a great life. You've been doing amazing things there, Dr. Ninja Turtle.
Uh-huh.
Where do you? So Jean put the email address
just
earlier,
show
but
again.
we're gonna put it back in. It's super easy. It's firewego@gmail.com, but we'll put it back in here. So if you guys,
written, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
Feel free to reach out anytime, guys. Let's see if we can connect if we're in different parts of the world, because we love meeting everyone. But if there's any more questions, let us know. We've kind of monopolized your evening here on a Sunday, so we really
Thank you. We
appreciate you guys coming.
Allowing us to be part of your day and being on your TV
Yeah.
or your laptop, your cell phone. So we are very grateful for the opportunity of being part of your day.
In a retirement channel, finance and travel are part of that. See, we agree. We totally agree. YouTube needs to get their acting gear.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll give it another try. I think maybe it was just because it was so new and it confused it. We'll try again. But if there's no more questions, maybe we'll kind of end it there for tonight. But do you guys enjoy the live sessions? Because we can certainly try and arrange another one in another month or so and come back on and have another chat and see where everybody's at. Oh, Dominic, thank you. That's really nice. I think that the lack of stress in our lives, other than the planning stress, has really kind of helped us become a little bit healthier. So I hope that might be what you're plus the tan.
There's a lot of, I mean, one of the things that we keep reminding ourselves is the fact that we need to be active, that we need to be exercising, because it is really important. And more, the opportunity that we have in walking the Camino and walking 800 kilometers. I mean, we did walk like 800 kilometers, helped us to be in a better shape. But since we finished, we kind of, I guess it's part
fell
of
back
it,
into some bad habits. So
but this is something that we definitely need to do. Remember, you are making and saving and investing a lot of money. So if you don't have a good health, you're not going to be able to enjoy that. So you can't forget
gotta stay healthy,
taking care of your health as well.
We're doing this cruise from South America. Check it out. Oh, Tony, send us what the cruise is. But
there are so many options.
We really enjoyed the cruise. I think
we did.
Definitely gonna do.
I don't think that I'll be able to do a cruise for 30 days or more than 30, but I guess,
I'd give it a
15, 20 days, we will be fine.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
Sent an email to the. Oh, okay, perfect.
Okay. Thanks, Erica. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. Well, I guess maybe we'll say goodnight for now. But it's been awesome, and we really appreciate all of you coming out, asking your questions, letting us, chat here for an hour and a half or so. We love it. Yeah, we do.
Any other questions before we go? We just want to make sure that we did answer all your questions. Let's look at the chat.
Take one more look here. I think we got. I think we got all of them. If I missed something, put it down below right now. But.
So what is your final word? I'm going to ask Christina a question that she was not expecting that. How's retired life?
Oh, phenomenal.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Any regrets?
No. I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't change a thing. No.
Was it worth it? Oh, I'm interviewing Christina now.
Yeah, it was totally worth it. I think
the sacrifice. Do you miss home? We sold our house. Do we miss our house?
Yeah, I can say I miss certain things about Canada, and I can say I miss certain things about the house, but like sharp knives for cooking. But yeah, I wouldn't trade anything. I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't do anything different.
Yeah.
So definitely worth it.
Yes. So it is amazing. It is worth it. We had to change our mindset to be in a position that we are in today. You guys can do it. If we could, I mean, if you're here now, I'm sure that you can also do this, right? Don't believe what other people tell you that is not possible. So you know what you are capable of. So, and we truly believe that you can do as well.
Yeah. So, ¿Cómo está o portugués de Christine? Well, Christine's Portuguese is improving. No es muito bom, pero estoy aprendiendo.
Yes.
It's more Portuñol at this point. It's a mix of Portuguese and Spanish, but I'm figuring it out.
Yes. And more, when we came here, so just a side note, when we were doing things, I was always by Christine's side because I knew that she wanted the support and kind of how can I translate this or that. This week, actually, when was it? Yesterday? 2 days ago? Yeah. Christine, I'm so proud of her. She went for the grocery by herself. I was not with her. She went there. She had to talk with people and find what we were looking for.
Yep.
How was the experience?
Yeah, I figured it out, right? Thanks to Google Translate and a little bit of miming, it all worked out. Yeah. You just got to put yourself out there, right?
Yeah.
Like anything. So, it's totally worth it for sure.
Yes.
So I know we need a knife sharpener. We got one of those big, long knife sharpening stones, but it's way too heavy to bring around with us. We
can bring in our backpacks.
All right. That's going to be it for tonight, guys. Again, thank you so much. And we hope you all have a wonderful week.
Yeah. Have a good day, and we'll see you in our next video. Next weekend is gonna be another video,
We'll
right?
have another video next week.
All right,
Okay,
take
guys.
it easy. Thank you again, and we'll see you.
We love you all. Have a great night, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And yes.